Hello, this is Roland. Today I want to read something from a book that I don't talk about very much. A book I wrote a couple of years ago. Actually, I wrote the book about 6 years ago, and then I updated it a couple of years ago. It's called Helping and Healing the Inner You. Helping and Healing the Inner You. Integrative Strategies for Self-Empowerment and Spiritual Growth. You see, well, let me get started. I'm just going to start with I'm just going to start at the beginning. Chapter 1, Finding and Unblocking Restoration is the title. All of our symptoms, including death itself, are caused by defection from God and His right way. Pain is evidence that something is wrong. In a sense, physical pain is the body crying out, asking for help or relief. Something being wrong is a sign that something is out of order. Cancer is a growth of cells that are under the authority of a head renegade cell. But the renegade cell would not have gained a foothold if the body's immune system were functioning well. It would have been observed, reported, and hunted down. Secondly, other cells would not have defected to the authority of the terrorist cell if the ruling authority of the body were just and loving. Now here comes the good part. In the perfect hierarchy, the Creator is the ultimate authority, then Christ, followed by the humble, repentant soul. With the soul, humble and obedient, as the good king of the body, the mind and all the body systems, all the way down to the individual cells, live in a perfect system of justice. In such a system, the ego wants to do God's will. Through the respectful, aware soul, truth and love are expressed, and the mind and body carry out the descending orders. In such a system ruled by proper authority, there is no need or desire to rebel, since all is justice. An atmosphere of truth surrounds the truth-loving soul, and the light of truth searches out all things, revealing and healing even hidden remnants of sin and wrong living in the body. Okay, now that's the beginning of the book. You see, the soul that wants to do God's will and is in rapport with God, well, then you see how the authority extends from God through Christ to the soul, and then the soul is the good king or the good queen, if you will, of the body, and the orders that come down to the body are just, okay, are based upon love and truth. See, so it's a perfect system of justice. In society, look, in society you see a lot of people that are rebellious, don't you? People that are very rebellious. And why are they rebellious? Because if there was nothing to, people wouldn't rebel if there was nothing to rebel against. So it's injustice that gets people to start to rebel. Hypocrisy, injustice, unfairness, see, lack of love. Things like that get people to rebel. And then their rebellion then is fueled by anger, resentment, hatred. See? And then those people who are rebellious, they fall under the authority of wrong people who become the rebel leaders. So you see that in society. The same thing happens in the body. So the answer then, the solution, is, remember Christ said, put first the kingdom of God and His right way, and all the other things will be added unto you. But what do? We put everything else first. We put what we want. we put what captures our attention. See, everything else is first. And then, when we become upset and tense and nervous and have troubles, health problems, emotional problems, family problems, relationship problems, then what? Then we look for then we try to solve the symptoms. And then we look for symptom relief. See, to get rid of our tension headaches and our upset. So that's what we put all of that first. But Christ said it. Put first the kingdom of God in His right way. Okay? So the soul has to have a change of heart. See, what happened is that we are born as little egos. And then our egos are appealed to with love and hate, cruelty and tease, seduction and tease. And then we fall for the tease. Okay? It happens. Happens to everyone. And then having fallen, we fall under that system of false love and tease, seduction and cruelty. See, there's cruel tease and then there's the seductive tease. And either way, your ego goes for it. False love and hate. See? So your ego falls into that system. And then you, responding to that system, you then become subject to that system. And then you're no longer subject to God. That's what happens. If you look around at people, they're not subject to God. See? Yeah, they might try to act nice, and they maybe have a sense of, right and wrong, and so on and so forth. But they're not subject to God. See, they're subject to some other order. They're cut off. And then we wonder why things go wrong. See, remember. So the soul, which wants to do God's will, and develops and has a rapport with God, then the descending orders. And see, God's orders, remember Christ said, my burden is light. He said, take my yoke upon yourself, or my yoke is light. I forget the exact words. He said it so beautifully. What does God ask of us? Well, He asks of us that we don't resent other people, that we be honest and fair, see, and that we be attentive to Him, see, and it's easy to be attentive to Him. See, right now, you see the other problem. See, the first problem is, as a little ego, you were subject to other people who in this order, see, and the descending order, the ascending orders, if you will, are from hell, see, through misguided leaders, parents and authorities and teachers and politicians and experts and all these people, see, who are misguided, see, or themselves have become something like what they are responding to. So they themselves become greedy or hateful or take advantage. See, it was done to them, and then they turn around and do to others. But even if they have good intentions, what's the old expression? The road to hell is paved with good intentions. So they mean well, but they are unenlightened. They don't have understanding. So they may have a lot of knowledge, book knowledge, but they don't have understanding. So they mislead. See. So that's what we are subject to, and so they're error. They're misleading you. They're not having understanding. It's bound to tease you. I mean, yes, it's bound to tease you. It's bound to make you angry and upset. See? And then when you're angry and upset, you look for love, and then you get false love from people. And that's bound to make you angry and upset. So the secret. So now you see the secret? The soul that wants to do God's will. So at a certain point, see, not everyone, but some people, they begin to realize that they're not leading their own life. All the mistakes that they make, they're unaware. They realize that there's something wrong. They don't know what it is, but something is wrong. And they don't like the way they are. They see that they have become like the people that they've hated. They themselves have become hateful and confusing and phony and impatient and take advantage of others and mislead others. They see it. They don't like it. So then they cry out. See, their soul silently cries out for truth, for answers, to be right. See, the person honestly and truly wants to be right and realizes that he can't be, and sees that he can't make himself right. He's tried that. All of his degrees in education and all of his good works in church and everything that he's done, it still hasn't made him right. So he sees that. And then he begins to have a change of heart about the way he's been going. The old ego way of, being lied to and lying to others, and people resenting you and you resenting them, and them taking advantage of you and you taking advantage of them, and someone lording it over you and then you lord it over someone else. This old way of the world. The person has a change of heart about it. He no longer believes that that's the way to go. Before he may have believed that was basically all there was, but now he sees that that's not the way to go. So he yearns for something else. He has a change of heart about the way he's been. Up until now, see, as egos, we defend what we've become. See, what you were made by the system in which you were born. Ultimately, the angry, resentful, judgmental, selfish, impatient, see, thing that you have become. See, you have always defended that. You made excuses and rationalized, and you hated other people and blamed them. Blamed your parent, blamed your father, blamed your mom, blamed society, blamed your husband, your wife. Blame someone. Now, you don't want to play the blame game anymore either. So there you are. You see that you're wrong. You don't like the way you are. But you don't want to blame and hate other people anymore either. See? So, in a sense, you're kind of like just sitting there with no wind in your sails. You're sitting there, but your soul is crying out. Well, then God answers. At some point he answers with light. And then you begin to see. You begin to realize. See, up until this point you couldn't realize. Because the other thing, beside everything that I've mentioned, is that you've been basically in a trance. You've been sleepwalking. You see people walking around with their iPhone. You see they're lost in it. See, you see people lost in their texting, lost in their phone conversation, lost in their television. Watch people watch television sometime. See how they get lost in it. That's the way you've been walking around like that. Lost in things and lost between your two ears in your imagination. See, the more we fail in reality, the more we hide in our imagination. Becomes our alternate reality that we live in. See? But now, see, when God's light begins to shine, you begin to realize, see, things. You begin to see your own wrong and regret the way you are. But because you love truth, you don't mind seeing you're wrong, because you want to be right. And you know you can't make yourself right. So you realize that deep down you love God, the light of truth. And then the light shines, and then you begin to wake up from your zombie state. You begin to wake up. And now loving the light, see, instead of loving your imagination, instead of hating other people, loving the little games that you play, and loving them taking a little advantage of you to give you an excuse to take advantage of them, or loving them being a little bit cruel or selfish so that you can become upset, and that gives you an excuse to smoke marijuana or drink, you see? Instead of that, now you love the plain and simple truth. And you take a step back from all of your involvements, all of your angers, all of your resentments, all of your blames. You take a step back from them. Okay? And now you perhaps get my little meditation that helps you, enhances the process of coming back to reality, back to the moment, back into God's light. Now you begin to walk in God's light. And now that's the rapport. See? As long as you want to continue that way. See? So every day you meditate, see, with my meditation for a few minutes to recommit yourself to wanting God in your life, to wanting His light to show you your errors. See? David cried out for that sort of thing, didn't he, in the Psalms? Lord, create in me a clean heart, O God. See, the person cried out to Jesus, to Christ. He cried out, Jesus, I believe, but help thou my unbelief. See? So now you cry out, your soul wordlessly cries out to God, and He answers with realizations, with insight, see, and with change. Before you changed and became worse, see, under the influence of the system in which you were operating, in which you didn't know any other system, and so you really had no choice, see. But now you have a choice, now that you see in God's light that there is another choice. So now do you see that it begins with a humble soul, with the aware soul, the soul that loves truth, and in the light of truth begins to doubt the wrong way. Everybody said, hey, eat, drink, and be merry. Hey, get over on others before they get over on you. Hey, they did it to you, so do it to them. Hey, take advantage. See? Hey, get a lot of knowledge and degrees, and then you can lord it over other people. See, all that kind of stuff. Now you doubt that that's the way to go. And you see them for what they are. You see the ones who are always pushing, challenging you, see. It's another word for tease, challenge. Challenging you to be more and be greater and be better and make more and do more and have more. Now you see them for what they are. Teasers, see. Sometimes sophisticated. Maybe they're crude teasers, selling dope on the streets, and see, or maybe they're very sophisticated. Either way, you see what they're up to. So you don't hate them. That's important too. As long as you hate them, you're involved with them. See, now you don't hate them anymore. You see what they're up to, but you don't hate them. And you see the people that hurt you and misled you. You see they couldn't help themselves. They were unaware. Okay. They never found God's light. So they were basically unaware. So just don't hate them anymore. Don't hate anybody. Okay? Now, what's more important is your relationship with your Creator. That becomes center in your life. Okay?